well, I say nicely, to the game next week, Dan, and obviously that is City. So what are your kind of thoughts going into that game, obviously coming off of another loss? I think it's, what is it, 3 in a row now? I'm hoping we're not going to make it 4, but what do you make of the next game?
Just easy 3 points at the Etihad, right? Is that what we're all thinking? Yeah. I don't know. It's like every time I think that we're out against City before the game, it's like, oh no, City been playing pretty well, this, that, everything else. We then somehow managed to beat them like 1-0. I'm feeling a lot more confident after seeing how we played against Villa, even if, and I know Bentancur's still up in the air, right? Like it'd be probably highly unlikely that he's going to feature against City now. But I don't know. Like I'm feeling so positive about the whole sort of just Ange experience that I don't really care, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like I don't care if we're going into this game missing 10 players. Like we're missing a full squad of players almost, and I'm just like excited because it's like, what's the worst that can happen? Like we'll go there, we'll get smashed up by City. Like that's what's predicted to happen anyway. But in terms of like the long-term project here, like I'm still so excited about everything that we're doing and everything that we're seeing. So like the other thing too is that watching in Australia here, the City game I think is a 3:30 kickoff or a 3 a.m. kickoff for us. So if you stay up and watch these sort of games like we do, luckily the Villa one I think was 1 a.m. A beautiful time. That's an early game. I personally find it's like I can't get that sort of frustrated because then it really like ruins your week if you kick things off like that. So I think like what I'm just really happy about is that even if we are losing games, like we are going out and we're trying to play a brand of football which is really entertaining to watch, especially when you're watching in the middle of the night and you're really tired. Whereas in like, the last couple of seasons, it became such a chore to stay up and watch these games. And it was just like, well, I'm just hoping that we win, but I know I'm not even going to enjoy the experience. Whereas this game yesterday, I don't know why, but I was standing up for the whole first half and I just couldn't sit down. I was like so excited and buzzed in the middle of the night. And I'm like, this is what I love. This is what I've missed so much. So the fact we're going into the City game and we really are in way more of an underdog position than we would be normally. Like, I honestly think that we would beat them if we had full squad and didn't have any of these injuries. Like, no, there's no doubt in my mind about that. I'm just looking forward to see like how we go. Like another great game to see what Hill can do, see what Gio can do. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, which might seem completely diluted. I don't know.
No, but it shows that actually we are enjoying our football again. And don't get me wrong, I love winning. But it feels at the moment it's a bit of I don't feel as depressed as what I was last season every time we may lose a game here or there. Whereas we're losing games on the bounce at the minute, but I'm okay about it because I know the process. But Ben, how if we don't have Bentancur, how do we see that midfield kind of lining up? Do you think Ange is going to maybe throw something else in the mix? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, obviously we'll have Basuma back. So I personally, I think obviously I'd love Bentancur to be fit, but I just, like Dan says, I think it's highly unlikely. You saw the pain he was in as he hobbled off, like after the game as he was walking down the tunnel. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that was just really like a sad sight, to be honest. It's just like, it's so gutting. But I think he'll just bring Basuma straight in for Bentancur, and I think he might play Højbjerg as well. And I think Lo Celso will definitely still play, and I think there'll be kind of more onus on Lo Celso to kind of be that more kind of creative number 8 that we know that he can be. And I think he might, who knows if he's going to be a little bit more defensive against City and kind of use Basuma and Højbjerg together. I really don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't. But I think that's kind of the only option that he's got, really, unless we see Kulusevski continue still in the number 10. We could go Basuma kind of at the base and then Lo Celso and Kulusevski, which I'd still be excited by. I think the reason I'd be excited by that is because we still feel like we can give them a game even without the players missing. And I think that's one of the really frustrating things about this. Well, not frustrating, maybe just kind of upsetting a bit as a Spurs fan, is that with our full team out, even we could easily go to Man City and lose with our first team out. I'm not quite as confident as Dan, but I love that confidence. And also, I think I saw someone say the last time Spurs lost 3 league games in a row we then went and beat Man City at the Etihad. So who knows?
Who knows?
It could happen again. But I think it's just frustrating because I really felt like, and I do kind of share Dan's confidence in that aspect, because I do actually feel like we could have given them a really good game with everyone available. I do think we could have gone toe-to-toe with them, and I think it could have been really fine margins. And I think if we go there on Sunday, it's a bit of a free hit, really. The 3 games in a row defeats thing, let rival fans worry about that. Let them use that as kind of a stick to beat us with if it makes them feel better. That's absolutely fine, because it's not going to change the way how me or you or anyone else kind of feels about what Ange is doing at the moment. Because I think as Spurs fans, we've always been quite level-headed, and I think we're quite able to zoom out and see the bigger picture a lot of the times. It's only really in the last couple of years where, like, we knew Conte wasn't going to be here that long, so it's kind of hard. It was always harder to zoom out and see the future and see the bigger picture. Whereas now with Postecoglou, you definitely see that. So the kind of run of results becomes an insignificance to me, to be honest. I just want us to go there, give them a go, and if we end up getting beat, that's fine. Take it in the chin and move on. Because, like Dan said, we learned more about the team yesterday. There was more positives to take away than negatives, and we learned more than we didn't already know. And I think we'll probably find that out, maybe for better or for worse, who knows, against City on Sunday. But I'm still excited to see how we go there. I'm excited to see what lineup he comes out with. I think it could be the same. I think he could just bring Basuma in for Bentancur. I'd love to see. I thought we haven't really talked about Kulusevski. I thought Kulusevski was excellent yesterday. I thought and there's been some quotes today. He did a piece after the game talking about how he felt like the old Kulusevski, like he loved playing in the number 10. Like, I think he said he's always kind of seen himself as more of a creative midfielder than a winger. And if that's what's going to happen, I'm all here for it. I've always been a big fan of Kulusevski anyway. I think he's kind of been really underappreciated a lot of the time. And because he's not like this typical modern quick winger, like, you know, it's just the way he kind of. There's a reason why he is always the last of that forward line, even if he does get substituted, to come off, because he's got that engine, he's got that ability to always drag Tottenham up the pitch, and he's just got. I just love him, and if he's going to have this kind of almost little remontada in the number 10 for the next couple of months while Maddison's out, I'm here for it. And I think also his physicality in that midfield battle on Sunday against City with the likes of Rodri in there could actually be really important. So I'd quite like to see him go with the same. I'd quite like to see him just not like Basuma for Bentancur being the only change if Bentancur is still not fit. And you'd imagine Basuma will come back anyway.
No, that's a good shout. And like I say, I've always liked Decky, not just because of the gimme gimme chant, but it is like you say, everybody just picks up on the fact that he's not fast, and it's the physicality and, like you said, the engine that comes with him. But I know we've spoken a little bit about the midfield. Dan, I'm going to come to you for the last point. I'm not going to ask you for a score prediction, it's all good, but I'm going to ask you about the defence, because obviously seeing Emerson and Davies, I quite liked it, but up against Haaland, I'm not too sure. But then you're thinking, do we stick Dara in that mix? I'm not too sure. What do you kind of think?
I feel like regardless for any of those options, Haaland is just sitting on his couch, just licking his lips all week. Could be a 3-4 goal game for him. I was so looking forward, let's say a month or so ago before everything happened. I was so looking forward to see, like, oh, we play Haaland and we've got Van der Ven and Romero. Like, oh, all right, hello. That's like a really, really salivating contest to watch. And I think it's nice to have those sort of battles that going into games where it's like, we do have the defenders that could potentially like nullify Haaland in that scenario. But now I feel like, I guess a little bit similar in the sense for the Villa game, when the lineup came out, I did think, you know what, I feel like we're going to be pretty susceptible in the air for this. And I feel like it's going to be the same case here. So I think it's just going to be a thing where, like, Haaland's probably going to score. He's probably going to score a few. He is an absolute, like, freak of nature. And I really just don't think whatever happens, we can't really come down on, like, Emerson or Davies or anyone like that, because the best centre-backs in the world struggle with Haaland. And we're now onto sort of like, I guess, our squad level centre-backs there. So, yeah, like, even though I said I'm still very positive about the experience, like, it might be a case of looking at the game and going like, all right, let's see how long we can stop Haaland for. And kind of like when you're down to like 9 men and you're like, all right, well, how long can we hold on for the game? Like, it might be that sort of scenario of like, how long can we stop Haaland for? Look, 30 minutes in. All right, cool. We're looking pretty good. And just maybe like finding alternate challenges to watch the game. And yeah, hopefully they can hold him off for a little bit.
No, it would be nice. Like you say, it's definitely going to be a difficult game. But as we all know, I don't think Ange's going to change his ways. He's going to play his style of football. And you know what? So be it. And there's lots of people calling for him to change his tactics, but he's not going to change it. And you know what? I think the players are going to be better for it. They're going to learn how to play his style under the most amount of pressure. So I'm here for it. But